Growth Energy has started a campaign, a consumer campaign to promote biofuels. We'll learn about that Get Biofuels campaign. We'll talk with Emily Skor, CEO of Growth Energy, next on AOA. Adams on Agriculture brought to you by Cenex Premium Diesel. Cenex Premium Diesel, diesel that doesn't mess around. Recently on Adams on Agriculture, President of Missouri Farm Bureau, Garrett Hawkins. Agriculture has pushed for years for infrastructure improvements. Then you get proposals now that seem to address some of those issues, but along with it comes how to pay for it. Where do you stand on this, and how do you see the pluses and minuses of what's being proposed right now?
I've heard a lot of our members use the acronym SSDD, same story, different day. Seems like here we go again through the years that all of a sudden we talk about death being a taxable event. That is the fundamental issue that we're talking about. And the administration has put forth a plan, multifaceted plan, but the piece that we're most worried about is the elimination of stepped-up basis, and then what the plan is to impose capital gains tax at death. While they've tried to tell agriculture, hey, don't worry, we're still having this fundamental conversation and trying to talk about fairness and legacy in terms of what we do in agriculture.
For the information important to rural America, join us on Adams on Agriculture.
For more than 135 years, the editors of Progressive Farmer have provided generations of farmers and ranchers with the information they need and trust to make informed and profitable decisions. We know you need that content delivered on multiple platforms, so it's available when you want it. That's why we created our weekly podcast called Field Posts. Join me, Sarah Mock, each week as I interview agriculture's top thought leaders, as well as farming's most diverse team of editors at the Progressive Farmer and DTN on a wide range of subject matter. From farm policy and crop production to finances, technology, and so much more, you'll have a front row seat to learn and engage in what's happening in agriculture today. You can find the podcast listed on all your favorite podcast platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, or by visiting our website at dtnpf.com/fieldposts.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Adams on Agriculture brought to you by Cenex Premium Diesel. With Cenex Premium Diesel, you can count on a diesel that will keep your operation in top shape.
Information America's farmers and ranchers need to know on AOA. Now, back to Mike Adams.
Growth Energy has launched a new consumer campaign to encourage drivers to choose biofuels for a cleaner planet. Here to tell us about it is Emily Skor, CEO for Growth Energy. Emily, thank you so much for joining us. Tell us about this campaign.
Oh, thanks, Mike. Always a pleasure to talk with you. We're really excited. So we've launched, it's a new digital initiative that complements our other market development efforts by priming consumer demand for higher blends like E15. We know consumers today are looking for ways they can make a positive impact on the environment. And so our initiative positions biofuels like plant-based ethanol as a simple change anyone can make to benefit the earth. We're using cutting-edge creative And in doing so, we're connecting directly with the consumer in her space, drawing attention to biofuels' positive environmental benefits, and then encouraging her to choose higher blends like Engine Smart Earthkind E15 or what she would recognize as unleaded 88 at the pump.
You know, it almost seems like the narrative has become, if you want to help protect the planet, improve the environment, as far as driving is concerned, you have to go with electric vehicles. This tells motorists, hey, there's another way you can do it with fuels that we already have, with energy and infrastructure that we already have in place.
That's right. So, I mean, you know that the mindset across the country right now, there's a climate consciousness, and air quality and climate have never been more top of mind. But our message is, you don't have to wait, you don't have to buy a new car, and you don't need new infrastructure. You can make a simple change that changes everything today with your current car and the current retailer that you're going to. So we're really excited, and we think that this really taps into the psyche of the consumer right now.
Well, tell us how this campaign will work as far as how you're getting the message out.
It's a digital initiative, and so right now we're in a pilot phase, and we're launching in 2 markets, one in Salt Lake City, Utah, and Raleigh, North Carolina. And we chose those 2 markets because, one, you can get E15 at, so you can get E15 at retailers in Raleigh, but you can't in Salt Lake City. So we're testing out our ability to engage consumers and motivate them to be seeking out this choice. And then, you know, we'll reflect on the pilot. Our aim is to launch this nationally in the fall.
We're talking with Emily Skor, CEO of Growth Energy. Emily, some of us talk about ethanol and biofuels all the time. For the consumers, though, maybe we kind of fall into the trap of thinking they ought to know about it, but many do not, or they've heard things that are misleading about ethanol. So this is really, I think, there's this door that is opened, or a window that is opened, if you will, of opportunity as these motorists are looking and thinking about these climate issues. Here's maybe the opportunity we've been waiting for to really reach them with the biofuels message.
You're absolutely right. Most consumers don't know about ethanol, and if they do, they're going to parrot out some of the opposition messaging. So there's a lot of misinformation out there. So the way that we kind of capture their attention is by connecting with them on the climate. You want to make a simple change. Hey, here's something. And the reason that we're using the biofuels language is because we know through our market research and insights that consumers have a very favorable attitude toward biofuels. They intuitively understand, oh, biofuels, it's renewable energy, it's good for the planet. So they have very positive associations with biofuels. They just don't automatically know that ethanol is also a biofuel. So we're capturing them on things that are top of mind. We're bringing forward nomenclature like biofuels that they understand and they associate with positivity. And then we're leading them down the path saying, hey, this thing ethanol that you hadn't thought of before, you can put it in your gas tank and you can accomplish something good for the planet.
I guess timing is everything. I mean, we've been touting the environmental benefits of ethanol for years and years, but it takes, I guess, the right circumstances to get people to really listen and tune into the message, and I think maybe we're into that time now.
I think we are. Certainly we are from a political perspective. I mean, the conversation in Washington, D.C. is very much about climate, and that reflects where we are as a country. And as an industry, you know, we are very excited to be able to be part of that climate dialogue, to demonstrate that we're a solution. So there's a lot of excitement within the industry about where our national dialogue is going. We know that we are a solution that can be used today. And so, you know, I think timing is divine, and so now is the time for us to be able to connect with the consumer and start to change attitudes and perceptions once and for all.
And as we get consumers seeking, wanting, asking for E15, maybe that helps get E15 more available as retailers see that growing demand out there.
That's the idea. I mean, our goal is that E15 becomes the standard fuel choice nationwide. And so with this undertaking, with this added consumer engagement, we have what I would say is a full throttle industry effort. So we're pursuing pro-growth policy, we are leveraging commercial opportunities, and we're spurring consumer demand. So with those 3 elements, we have kind of that E15 trifecta, and we need all 3 things to get to that next step where E15 is the standard fuel nationwide.
It's hard sometimes to get people to to think about bigger picture when they're fueling up. I mean, a lot of people just pull into the filling station and get gas and move on. But now we're starting to find motors thinking about broader issues such as the environment and what's in the fuel that they're putting in their vehicles. So, I mean, there's a lot happening right now on this front. So it's a real an opportunity. I find myself thinking, wow, we've been talking about this for so long. Why haven't they've already received this message? But whatever it is now, we got to get this point across, right?
Well, you're right. And, fuel and fossil fuels are more top of mind in large part because of our COVID experience. Last summer, when we had shelter in place and drivers stopped driving, particularly people in urban areas, they could actually see what clean air looks like, and they had not experienced it before. Now, they want to be able to get back on the road, but they want to be able to maintain their air quality as well. So there really is a motivation among consumers and an appetite to do something positive for the planet. But you also know that they want to do something. Is there something easy and simple that I can do? Well, we've got a very simple change that you can make, and that's the message. I mean, the takeaway for the consumer is that with biofuels in your gas tank, you fuel beyond and you become part of the climate solution.
And you don't have to go buy an electric vehicle or find a charging station or learn about all that. And maybe some people will do that as we move maybe in that direction. But in the meantime, there's something they can do right now, and it's very simple.
It's very simple. You can do it in the car that you have. And I encourage your listeners, go to fuelbeyond.com. You'll see some of our video content and our creative, and you'll see it's really creative and smart, and it really meets the consumer where they are and what they're thinking about today.
Yeah, I've watched that video. Very interesting. How do you see this campaign growing then as you move through the summer and into the fall?
Well, so we're in a pilot phase this spring. I always, when we're doing something of this magnitude, you want to do pilot and kind of work out the kinks. And then the goal is that we launch this nationwide in the fall.
So as you launch that nationwide, is that going to be on a lot of different platforms then in your digital campaign?
It is. So it's, digital today means, not only kind of online and social media, but connected TV. So Hulu, a lot of the apps that you're watching, Apple TV. So we're really tracking our target consumer, which is tends to skew millennial and female, and really kind of on the coast, those who are really attentive to environmental issues. So, we're targeting those consumers, and we're targeting them in digital platforms where we know they're engaging and they're looking for content about the environment. And so that's where we're going to be raising awareness about, hey, there is something that you can do today in your car that you have today that's going to be a simple change that really changes everything for the planet.
Really tap into that curiosity that they have right now about fuels, about carbon, about environmental issues, really make that connection perhaps with them in a way we haven't been able to before.
Absolutely. And now is the time because they're looking to connect. I mean, the consumer today is demanding more of their products and of the companies that are selling the products. They're demanding that they want to understand, what is my environmental impact? What can I do to reduce my environmental footprint as an individual for my family? This is an easy step that they can make without having to go purchase a brand new vehicle.
Okay, Emily, again, where can people see more about your campaign, learn more about Get Biofuels?
Yes, go to fuelbeyond.com, and you'll learn all about the campaign. And you can also type in your area, and you can find a retail station that sells E15.
Perfect. Fuelbeyond.com. Great. Emily, thanks a lot, and we look forward to talking with you throughout the year about how the campaign's going. Thanks a lot.